Okay, so it is that time where I need to make me some more whipped shea butter. This is all that I have left. This is the container that I use for my hair shea butter. It's all the same recipe, all the same mixture. I just divide it into two different containers, and I keep this container in where I keep the hair stuff. That's the only reason I separate it, but it's all purpose. I use it all the same. Main ingredient is the shea butter. This shea butter, my mother-in-law did bring to me. It did come from Africa. It is some authentic African shea butter from Ghana. I'll be using coconut oil is the other main ingredient, castor oil, and some vitamin E oil. This coconut oil, you can use any type of coconut oil. This is the brand I plan on using. It is melted, but it normally is solid. It's just melted because I had it here as I was cooking dinner, because I knew I was about to start this, and so I just set it near the stove so it can melt down. This is castor oil, no special brand. I just get this from Walmart. You can get more expensive brands. I wouldn't use like a Jamaican. You can use Jamaican black castor oil, but that's not necessary. I don't find it necessary for this recipe. It does fine with the castor oil. Castor oil is a good oil. It's for your hair and your skin. It does melt into the hair and the skin very well. Has a lot of vitamins in it that are good for your hair and your skin, as well as things that help keep your hair from breaking. Vitamin E oil, good for hair and skin. This one in particular is the one that I'm using. I don't always use it. You see the sunflower, because a lot of the times vitamin E oils that you buy in the store are really mostly consist of sunflower oil, and that is the same with this one. I think the first is soybean. You can't really see it because it won't focus. And then the next one, it does actually have vitamin E oil in it. This, I can't even pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. And then it has grapeseed oil. Those oils are high in vitamin E, and so most of the time they do use those as the main oil in vitamin E oil. It's like a carrier type oil. This time I will be using a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I normally do not use olive oil. I use it in my hair, but I normally don't add it to this mixture. But because it's coming up to winter time and you know the skin is a little bit drier, during that time I plan on adding this because it does help with the dryness of the skin and hair. And I'll add maybe a teaspoon of this almond oil. Very little, just a little bit of that goes a long way. Here is the method I'll use to melt my shea butter. I'll only put the shea butter in here and melt it, and then I'll add the rest of the oils to the mixer. I won't put those in here because I don't usually know exactly how much I want to add. It just really depends on, because I don't measure my shea butter out. Let me see if I can show you. Stir this up and let this melt, and I'll come back and show you how it melts down once it does something. All right, stay tuned. Melted it. I want to bring the temperature down because it won't whip like this. So I'll just let it sit for however long, maybe an hour or so. It won't solidify because it's going to be hot. It's like it's not quite like coconut oil in that it has a low melting point, but once it melts, it'll stay melted for a relatively long time before it starts solidifying. And usually I'll bring the temperature down just sitting on the counter for a little while, and then I'll put it in the deep freezer just to drop the temperature some. It'll start getting solid around the edges first, and I just stir those in and then add it back into the deep freezer, and it'll get solid around the edges again, and I'll just stir those in. And then once I feel like it's cool enough where it might whip, it's not completely solid by then, it's still mostly liquid, but it'll whip. You can, if you have like some of those flexible ice packs, you can just put that around your mixing bowl and mix it that way and cool it that way, but I don't, so this is just the way I do it. So this is very hot. I'm just gonna sit it on the back of my stove, let it cool off for about an hour or so. It's kind of a long, tedious process, but the end results are where it's at. This is that whipped shea butter mixture from last night. I started the process pretty late in the evening, and I ended up falling asleep. So it was clear. I've mixed it up, the solids back into it, had just a little bit of it had got solid around the edges, but that's what I was telling you, it stays liquid for a pretty long time after you melt it. Okay, I just want to show you something. So I'm mixing it up. I've been mixing it for a while. It's not getting any thicker, because normally what I do is I'll start blending it before I add the rest of the oils. But what I decided to do is I got me some frozen vegetables. I'm just gonna put around this mixture, try to bring the temperature down some more. It's already room temperature. It's just too warm in here for it to do anything. I'm gonna go ahead and add my castor oil. This is the castor oil I use. It's not that, I don't want to say any brands, but it's not that brand or a brand you would like order off Amazon or something. I just go to my local Walmart and pick this up. It's usually in the I don't know what the aisle is, dietary aisle. It's where the laxatives and stuff are. That's the aisle that it's on. And it's meant to be ingested because castor oil is a laxative. So, you know, it's gonna be okay to put on your hair. No, it's not gonna seep into your skin and make you be running to the bathroom or anything like that. But it does just as well as those more expensive brands of castor oil, and it does the same thing. I put it in, like I said, this mixture, which is for skin and hair, and it does just fine. I will not use this whole bottle. I usually use like a third of it, and it's not really a full bottle, so maybe I should use a measuring cup, you know, because then I won't be able to tell. But I'm making more than I normally do, so I'll probably do half a bottle. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you all. It's only been like 2 minutes, but my patience is not there, so I can't wait. Well, I can, but patience just is not working with me today. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add my other oils, pop it in the freezer for a little bit, and then I'll add more of the more or less of this vitamin E oil if it gets too thick. So this is the almond oil. I had about a cat full. My olive oil, I want to do like 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. I want this to be more creamy instead of this is a new container of this, instead of whipped. I don't think I showed you all. You want to be careful because you don't want to over whip it. If you're not trying to get whipped, you don't want to over mix it because it will go from creamy to whipped. This is my the finished product of the whipped shea butter mixture. This is more on the whipped side. Some people like it more creamy. My mother, for instance. But to achieve that, you can always add more coconut oil. Even after you've done the process, you can just stir in more coconut oil or whatever other type of oil that you would like. You can always stir in more essential oils if you want it to be scented a different type of way. This is fairly unscented. I just added about maybe 12 drops of some random essential oils, and it's very light smelling. It's not overpowering, but Excuse the mess, all this shea butter stuff. But yeah, so this is it. The end results. Delicious.